Hello, all of my Viking friends. You are again behind the scenes when I am trying to figure out how to make recipes for everyone. I feel like I have left you guys in the dust as far as your resolutions for the new year, because I was going to go through and make a whole bunch of recipes that you could put in the refrigerator. And I have been struggling to figure out how to make carnivore recipes and ketovore recipes that are both satiating, filling, and delicious. I can make ketogenic recipes all day long because I have been ketogenic forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But as far as carnivore, this is my 235th day of carnivore, and some of the recipes that I have been creating have been hit or miss. Not as delicious as what I had hoped. Now, I've also been trying to help people transition from a standard American diet or a standard diet of all sorts to a ketogenic diet, to a ketovore diet, to a carnivore diet. And the slow transition can happen at any stage. But what happens if you have a small child or a child in school who goes to school and decides that they want some regular food because all of their friends are having food? My neighbor girls came over and they really wanted me to make some Chex Mix. I have never made Chex Mix in my entire life, so I don't even know where to start on that. And how do you make it so that it's delicious, it's comparable to what their friends are eating, and they're willing to eat this instead of that? That is the biggest question. So I did some research and I've discovered a couple of things. I was going to start out with pork rinds, but sometimes pork rinds just doesn't have that sweet at the end. It has that savory flavor. And unfortunately, a lot of children can decipher that, especially when they transition from what they have been eating in the past to what they're going to start eating now. So as a parent, what do? Well, you can transition them slowly and figure out what they can supplement, and they can get into their diets. Is it completely healthy? Not 100%, but it's healthier than the Twizzlers and the Kit Kats and the Dum Dums and the Ding Dongs and the Ho-Hos that they are used to. So getting them into a more ketogenic lifestyle and then slowly transitioning them as they get older into a ketovore lifestyle or even a carnivore lifestyle at the end of the day. So here we go. This is a recipe that is not clean whatsoever. It is going to be a very dirty recipe, and I hope that it tastes good, because my goal is to have younger audience members try it and like it and take it to school and eat it at school in front of their peers or with their peers, and they can transition slowly. So let's get started. So first, you can make your own cereal if you wanted to. You could definitely use pork rinds. I bought this cereal, not sponsored, but I bought the cereal. It's not any way a clean ketogenic, but it will do. So definitely a kind of ketogenic cereal. And then I'm going to add nuts instead of, what do they use in the Chex Mix? Pretzels? I think pretzels. So after walking through the store a couple of times, I decided to pick up walnuts and almonds. And you can use pecans, you can use hazelnuts. Hazelnuts are actually my favorite nut. And whatever you find on sale or what your preference is, hazelnuts and chocolate is definitely a winner, but also almonds and walnuts. Now, if you're definitely a carnivore, then this is just not for you unless you can figure out what to replace it with. I'm not sure at this point. And then what do you do about the candy bits in there? Because a Chex Mix has a candy component to it, obviously sweeter. And so after walking through the store for quite a bit, I discovered these. They're not the best in the world, not sponsored, but for kids who want that M&M feel, this is definitely something that could replace that. The candy coating obviously isn't the greatest, and the chocolate isn't the greatest, but it has 0 sugars, 16 grams of carbohydrate. Again, not the cleanest, but if you are replacing regular Chex Mix with a healthier alternative, then this is how to do it. And then a Chex Mix sometimes has cocoa powder on top of it sprinkled, so I decided to pick up some dark chocolate and butter, of course, lots of butter, and then I'm going to use my stevia blend. So let's get started. Okay, so I have 2/3 of a cup of melted butter inside of a pan, and then I am going to add 1/2 cup of a stevia blend. And I am going to thoroughly mix this around and incorporate everything. And then I'm going to reduce the heat and let that just simmer just ever so slightly. Okay, now that it is completely incorporated and it looks pretty good, it's been simmering for a couple of minutes now, I'm going to add 1 entire bag of this Catalina Crunch. And the flavors are cinnamon, there's this peanut butter chocolate, and there's chocolate. So it is up to you what you want to add. And then I am going to completely stir this and coat every single one of these. Meanwhile, we're going to add nuts of our choice. So this is 1/2 cup of almonds and walnuts. And then just add I'm making a mess over here off screen. I've got almonds everywhere and the dogs are flying off the stairs. I don't know what's happening over here. And then we're also going to add 2 packages of these. And then I am going to incorporate the rest. This is on low heat. But after everything's incorporated, we're going to put this out on some parchment paper. So I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to put some parchment paper on a flat surface of some sort and spread this out. All right. Now we're going to just spread this out on our parchment paper. I lightly greased it. That's optional. I'm going to do this. So it looks pretty good. And it is fun if you want to have your kiddos bring out some of their tools that they use in the kitchen, whatever it is. I like these spatulas. Very fun to make. Alright, so that's that. Now, last but not least, there's a coating on the Chex Mix Party Mix. So I did some kind of research. What can I do? So I decided that I was going to buy a little bit of Swerve, not sponsored, I just like it, and I'm going to just coat this. Now you can also put some chocolate powder in here, like so. I did not measure. And then you just tap lightly, like so, coating everything. You could put this in a Ziploc bag if you want and do some thorough shaking, however you want to do this. I am 100% happy with just doing it this way. And if you wanted to, you could stir it up a little bit so that it coats everything, or you could just leave it. Maybe I'll stir it just a little bit. And this should be comparable to the party mix that all of the other children are consuming and love. Now a variation you can also do too is you can make the, what are those things called? The Rice Krispie treats. That would be comparable to this too. So the kiddos don't feel left out, they feel like they're included, and their kids in their classrooms aren't teasing them relentlessly because they're obviously different. Because kiddos can be very mean, very, very mean. So, a little bit more. This is going to be very sweet. Very sweet. All right. After we do this, I have this left over, so I'm going to grab something to put it in. The dogs are making such a crazy catastrophe over there too. And then I'm going to put this right here. I am making a mess. I'm going to just set that right there. Okay, and there you have it. I almost lost an M&M. A Chex Mix that kiddos can partake in at their parties, with their friends, with their peers at school, and they don't feel left out. So I called my guy down here to taste test. Now he's not really a chocolate fan, and he really isn't into this kind of delectable dish. This is probably too sweet for him, but we'll see what he thinks about it. Hans. Okay. Now this has some deliciousness in there. I'm not going to tell him the ingredients. And okay, see what you think. What do you think? He's taste testing it. He's silent. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing a dance.
It's good.
He's eating it, so that means it's actually good. And for somebody that does not like chocolate that much, and he's still eating it, it must be that good. So I think this is a winner. Until next time, my friends, scold. think it's about time to dye my hair again. What do you think? What the? I challenge you to create a keto dish using the ingredients in this mystery bag. Rules. You must use all the ingredients in the bag. What the? You can use other ingredients from your kitchen. You will only have 25 minutes? Good luck. Hans. What the?